Welcome to Responding to COVID on TTT, Talk City 91.1 FM, as well as on Facebook at TTT Live Online. I'm DK Roster. Thank you for tuning in. Now, in addition to parents tucking children to bed and praying for good dreams, Read to Me TT is promising that as long as schools are closed, we'll be tucking the nation's children to bed. We will be streaming and reading to help children continue dreaming, learning, and just being children. Especially with a day like today, we're very happy to be speaking with Kevin Blake Thomas, who is a co-founder of Read to Me TT, and we're happy to find out more about the initiative from him. Hello, Kevin. How are you, all things considered, today?
Hi, good afternoon, DK. It's a pleasure to be here talking to you today about Read to Me and just sharing a little bit about ourselves. All things considered, I'm doing pretty well. Happy to have another day where I can make a difference and contribute and spread some good positive news out there.
And with that in mind, we ask you, what is Read to Me?
All right, so it's really simple. Read to Me TT is an organization that has realized that the outbreak of coronavirus may be stressful for a lot of different people. Fear and anxiety about the disease can be overwhelming, and that causes strong emotions in adults as well as children. Coping with stress will make you as a people much stronger as a community. And really, that is the backdrop that really started Read to Me TT. It's a service that provides free narrations of local and regional books for small children and teens. Then we started March 26th, and we plan to continue for the duration of the coronavirus period and until schools are reopened in September.
Now, is a fabulous idea, but some people would say that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. What's the process of going from an idea to actual implementation?
Right. So it took a few days of brainstorming before Read to Me was actually born. So my co-founder Elena Dyer, we sat down, had a number of brainstorming sessions, just wondering how we can really change the landscape, change the narrative, create an element of distraction during these uncertain times that we are going through right now. And it's really at that point in time that we sort of landed on some type of collaborative element. And I think that is really one of the pillars that speaks to the number 2 in Read to Me. So the 2 represents 2 co-founders coming together, bringing this idea, bringing a service to life. The 2 also represents the 2 people that are engaged, the 2 narrators that we have as part of our format. The 2 also represents the collaboration between the narrators and the viewers that are coming together. So that too is really symbolic of what it is that we were hoping to achieve, collaboration during this period and just changing the narrative of these negative conversations and dialogues that we're having. Not that it's not important, but at the same time, we also want to ensure that education continues during the period.
So you're starting to get very high science, and I love it with the symbolism of that too in the name. But looking at you and your co-founders, a little bit about your background, it seems as though you all are heavily technology-based, IT-based. And so in terms of saying, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, how did you latch on to the idea we're going to read or we're going to have stories read to children?
Right. So you are correct. So our backgrounds are definitely in the technology area. But what we really see, what we both agree on fundamentally, technology is really just a tool by which you can achieve some type of greater purpose. And for us, we looked at it, how can we reach out during this period? It's a period where folks are quarantined, folks are staying indoors. So that means it's really a touchless society. Folks can go out and interact as they usually do. So we went to technology. How can we leverage technology? What are some of the tools that are out there that exist that kids, young adults, young parents are utilizing in these present times? And we landed on the idea of using Instagram as the platform, our social media of choice to do that reading. And really what cemented the fact of reading was really twofold. One, we wanted to have some live interactive experience as well as carrying across an element of education. Keeping that art of storytelling going, and progressing, whether it's original storytelling, whether it's simply reading and understanding and immersing yourself in new experiences. So really, reading came together and hit so many different pillars, because we really want to ensure that folks are embracing what is taking place right now from the perspective of change. When things go back, well, I don't want to say go back, but when things subside in terms of the anxiety, the fears, the concerns, and we can resume activities outdoors as it should be, um, our lifestyles are going to change. And read to me is really, we're seeing that as a stepping stone towards what that new change is going to be: more technology in our lives, helping to share and disseminate more information in a positive manner.
What is the format of it? Because I'm thinking the format of someone who is tuning in, and you'll also give us that information, as well
Sure.
as the logistics of sourcing titles and narrators. Because if you're going to keep this running for this length of period, you said from the 26th of March,
Correct.
you're running through people and titles. So how do you go about that process?
Yeah, so 26th of March to today, that means we we have completed 95 episodes to date. So tonight is episode number 96. We are 4 episodes away from episode 100, which is going to be a significant milestone for us. So we're really excited about that. We're hoping to put together something special. But more to your question, we really started with our network of friends, family, and friends tapping into that. And we also wanted an element of local celebrities to really help would create more awareness on that. So we tapped into our second degree, third degree networks, and we were fortunate enough to get folks like Mr. Peter Minchard himself, Kes the Band, and quite a number of other personalities really coming board and helping shape this platform and bringing this platform to life. We just looked at it and say, hey, we'll get this done, but we didn't really understand the task that we were taking on at that point in time. It's a nightly episode. Every night at 8 p.m. we go live on Instagram. And day by day, we just got into a groove. And what really helped is that folks started to connect with it. It resonated with them. They believed in the initiative. They liked what they saw. And folks started to volunteer. So getting folks to begin reading, joining the program really got easy because of the overwhelming support that we have received to date. It's completely humbling to see how many folks really want to participate, want to see this initiative thrive and continue as it is right now. So that has been the easy part. The hard part has been locating books. So we started just before, so in March, on the last week of March, that's before the quarantine actually officially kicked in. We were able to go to the local bookstores and purchase some books. But then we realized that, hey, this is not going to be sustainable. We're not going to be able to go outdoors just now. And boom, the quarantine kicked in. So we started reaching out, talking to folks, and local authors began donating their books to the series because they just really believed in the vision that we had and what we wanted to achieve and what we wanted to create. And soon enough, we ran out of books that were immediately available to us, local books. So we started with Trinidad and Tobago books. And then we started to branch out to the wider Caribbean, books from St. Kitts and Nevis, books from Jamaica, Grenada. Really, we started to have a regional scope on the books that we incorporated into the program. So folks are not only just hearing about the local culture, but opening the horizons of understanding about cultures within the Caribbean region as well.
I want to continue with the conversation, but we take a short break. We return with more because there is so much more to speak about. We are talking to Kevin Blake Thomas, co-founder of Read to Me TT, on responding to COVID-19. Stay with us. We will be back with more. Welcome back. This is Responding to COVID-19 on TTT Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. Read to Me TT co-founder Kevin Blake Thomas is speaking with us. And Kevin, I want to resume the conversation because you were speaking about some of the buy-in that you've had from people to the point that people have actually started volunteering to be narrators. But it seems as though on each night there are 2 individuals. How does that work?
Yeah. So each night, the mission and the objective was we have a new book every night. And each night with that new book, we have 2 brand new narrators that are going to be reading. Some books are short enough for 1 episode. Other books are much longer, and we break that up and we split that across multiple episodes. But every night, you're guaranteed to see 2 new readers. And as I said, folks began reaching out to us via Instagram, just out of curiosity. Hey, how do you guys, what's the process to become a narrator? Are you guys taking on volunteers? You know, and we could not ignore that response that we saw. We wanted folks to be involved because most of the stories shared about folks who are volunteering, they are actually saying that they watch this nightly with their kids, their 2-year-old, their 4-year-old, and their kids is actually the one who is pushing them. Hey, I want you to go and read Mom. I want you to go and read Dad. So we're hearing stories like that. And that's really the motivation for us at the end of the day, because we see a lot of photos coming in into our DMs and it's snapshots of parent and kid bonding together over that 20-minute, 30-minute reading period, just looking at their device, tuning in to Read to Me TT.
Now, with regard to having that parent-child dynamic, I have seen one narrator, and I don't think she's 5 yet. How does that play? How does that factor into the equation?
That has been a really precious episode for us. She's full of life, full of energy. So we predominantly have a lot of adults coming in and sharing and reading, but we do like to incorporate the kids as part of the episodes. So we have had multiple episodes in the past where we have the young kids coming in, reading, they're enjoying, they're showing off their skills, they're musically inclined, they're showing little dance skits as part of the reading as well, talking about musical instruments, talking about what they want to be when they grow up. And you know, it's things like that help the ideation process for us because we have created offshoot segments. A campaign that's called When I Grow Up series, where we tap into what we call the Read to Me fraternity. That's narrators who have read for us in the past. And just in 45, 60 seconds, just share a quick story about what it is you plan, what it is you wanted to be when you grow up, and what did you become eventually. And really show kids that the sky is the limit, their ultimate possibilities that are there. Sometimes that there are jobs that are now being created that was not there 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So we have folks talking about how they are social media influencers. There are folks who are talking about their digital natives and helping people build their business on the internet. You know, so it's really opening up the mindset for kids to understand and embrace, hey, technology is not just this tool that you use day to day, but it can be something that is fulfilling to help you seek to achieve a purpose in life as well.
I think it's a perfect opportunity to interject and say you consider yourself a technological futurist. Explain that.
So that's a really great question. My day job, I actually work with Massey Technologies. I head up their digital business unit. And what I do, I work very closely with customers, business owners, and really try to help them incorporate digital as part of their ecosystem. In recent times, folks are talking about what has been the greatest accelerator and change. It's not technology, it's simply COVID. And we need to incorporate technology more and more into our lives. How can we reach to the customers, provide better value service to them, how we can ensure that we are delivering on what they need. And what I try to do as well, I try to look into the future. I try to look 12 months out, 24 months out, 3 years ahead. How is technology going to shift? How is it going to change? How can we incorporate that into the local context of Trinidad and Tobago, into the Caribbean, to really diversify our portfolio of services that we have, really build that knowledge-based economy that we are trying to achieve, and create new opportunities for all. Because the way we look at it, just buying and selling traditional things, that those things are not going to go away. But what we are going to see is that you need to be able to certainly be more efficient in how you do those type of operations. You may need to complement the type of products and services that you're doing. And one of the most obvious and key ways to really provide that competitive advantage is going to be technology. So I think technology is something that's going to be incorporated more and more into the conversations. Business owners are becoming more educated about technology, and they are definitely seeing the benefits of it. And how that ties back into Read to Me, as I said, I believe how education is going to be disseminated going forward, that is really going to change. We're going to see more leveraging of technology solutions, digital solutions, that is using the mobile phone, using the tablets, using the internet to sharing much more than we have seen in the past.
Sounds kind of like a capitalistic Iron Man. But I mean, this is one kind of initiative that started during the pandemic, and you hinted at it, but what are some of the other opportunities that you see on the horizon just kind of waiting to be grabbed?
The foundation of it all is really education. The direction that we go, what Read to Me looks like post-COVID, post-pandemic. We're not at that point just yet in sharing, but there's some ideas that we are cooking up, we're working on, that really continues the momentum. This much that I can say, though, it certainly wouldn't look the way that it looks right now, for the simple reason that folks are certainly not going to have that same amount of time that they did during this quarantine period. Folks are going to be back out to school, parents are going to be back out working, and folks are going to be distracted from that 8 p.m. block with schoolwork and things like that. So we want to find a way that we can still connect with the young kids, we can still connect with the parents and be able to provide that element of education, that fun time that we have been able to achieve thus far.
Well, you've spoken and shared about the potential, I guess, for the type of labor that exists currently to shift. And this is as a result of the fourth industrial revolution. Break that down for me.
All right. So, as you rightly said, there have been three previous revolutions that have taken place in the past. And without going too deep into that, what I really want to say is that with each revolution that has taken place, it has really affected the economy. It has really affected how quickly and efficiently that we can do things. Businesses fundamentally and way of lives have been affected as a result of it. We look at it, how it has impacted agricultural, with the introduction of the steam and electric, with the introduction of the computer chip. The fourth industrial revolution is a little bit different in that what it's going to incorporate is automation. It's going to incorporate vast amount of access and processing of data. And those things are really going to be key and pivotal. Data is the new oil. That's the term that is being said. And with data, you get insights into how you can do things in a more efficient manner, how you can be more competitive with it, how you can really differentiate yourself at the end of the day. You get a better eye. So if we look at it from strictly a retail perspective, you get better understanding of the purchasing habits of customers. What are really their likes? Are you stocking up on the items that customers need at the right point in time? Do they have to sacrifice and take alternate products? It's really being able to answer questions from the mindset of the customer. Are you answering questions that are important for the health of the business? So that's really what the fourth industrial revolution is going to bring about. And it's also going to help create new business models as we see. So you talk about companies like Uber, you talk about companies like Facebook, you talk about companies like Amazon, you talk about another great one is Airbnb. And all of these companies, what they have in common is that the underlying asset, they do not own those assets, but they aggregate and bring people together and they share and create vast amount of data, and they've been able to accelerate their growth exponentially in a short period of time. So a quick example for Airbnb. Airbnb is now considered the largest hotel chain in the world by comparison to Hilton and all of the other big brands. And they've been able to do that over a period of 7 to 10 years. Hilton needed 100, 200 years to do something like that.
And that makes that really makes me look to see what Read to Me TT will morph into, will grow, evolve into post-COVID. We're not going to try to get we're not trying to pick him out right now, but we thank you for the time that you spent with us. Kevin Blake Thomas, co-founder of Read to Me TT. Remember, Read to Me TT, 8 p.m. on Instagram. Use that to help you tuck your children in. And we thank you for your time. And this has been Responding to COVID-19 on TTT, Talk City 91.1 FM, and TTT Live online on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. I'm DK Roster.